Alright, now the question is, how can we prepare IELTS speaking part 3? The first thing is, you should know what type of questions they will ask you. Right? You know, जब मुंडे वाले कुड़ी देखने जाते हैं, they know the questions. मुंडा की करदा है? मुंडा फेसबुक चलाਉਂਦਾ है सुबह तो रात तक. होर मुंडा की करदा है? 5 रुपए दे पैकेज ना सारी रात इंटरनेट यूज करदा है. ये होर मुंडा की करदा है? Like मुंडा की करदा है, कुड़ी की करदी. So in part 3, you should know what is it that examiner will ask you. Examiner ने पूछना क्या है? Many students don't know that. They only know in part 3 they will ask you questions from part 2. Follow-up questions from part 2. But actually there are 4 to 5 categories. And those categories belong to advanced English. IELTS speaking part 1 is for band score 1, 2, 3. Part 2 is for band score 4, 5, 6. Part 3 is for band score 7, 8, 9. So in part 3, examiner is going to check, right, whether you are capable of 7, 8, 9. And in part 3 also, if you tell them thirsty crow or greedy dog, they will say isko 5 band hi kafi. Now what is part 3? Number 1, they will ask you some opinion based questions. Do you think? Do you believe? Right? In your opinion, what do you think? So first category is opinion based questions. Second category is they will ask you some questions about advantages and disadvantages, benefits and drawbacks of something. So for example, say, what are the benefits of living in a big city? What are the drawbacks of going to a foreign country? Now you should know some advanced vocabulary, words and structures to talk about things like that. For example, say, what are the benefits of going to a foreign country? Well, in fact, there are many plus points. If you go to a foreign country, first of all, you can enjoy a luxurious lifestyle. Secondly, now talk about second thing. And finally, if you live in a foreign country, you can avail some international opportunities which are not possible if you live in a relatively poor country. You answer like this? Okay, so advantages, disadvantages. First, opinion. They ask you opinion-based question. And you say, well, as far as I am concerned, by the time you say as far as I am concerned, by the time you say according to me, examiner understands that this lady or gentleman knows these structures, right? Okay, after that, I was just telling you the third category for speaking part 3 is actually what we call comparison. Very important. For that, you should know some comparative structures. They will ask you to compare two things. What is the difference between education system of your country with the education system of a foreign country? Now what is this? Comparison. Comparison of city life with village life. Comparison of two things. Now for that, you should know some comparative structures. As compared to village, life in a city is very attractive. On the other hand, if we talk about villages, however, these type of words an examiner will check. Right? They ask you any comparative question and you are still there. I think life in village is good, village life is very good, village life is very good, city life is also good, city life has this. You're not using any comparative structure. They understand the knowledge of this candidate is limited, so they will take you back to level 5 band, 6 band and all that, right? So this comparative structures, at least 3 to 4 structures you should know. And finally, the fourth category in speaking part 3 is what we call prediction. They will ask you some questions related to future, and there you will have to predict. For example, do you think world will be a good place to live after 10 years? Or what will happen to the transport system of your country after 5 years? Now when they say after 5 years, after 10 years, after 20 years, now they want to see whether you know future structures for prediction. Like you say, it will happen. These type of things will change, or these type of things will take place. It will happen. It is likely to happen. These changes can be expected. You use the word it is estimated. So when you use these type of words and phrases for prediction, and how to learn them, just go to Google and write English sentences for prediction. Just learn 5 sentences. English sentences to express your opinion. 5 sentences only. English sentences for comparison. Learn 5 sentences and use them appropriately. Identify the question, answer, And at the end, even you will be surprised when you get 7.5 in speaking, 8 in speaking. So these are the categories in part 3, and you should be familiar. Questions will be from cue card. I mean, they will ask you questions from there, but questions are going to be different. And sometimes in part 3, question is long. Part 1 question, what is your favorite color? I'm giving you example. Part 3 question, what kind of colors are there that you mostly like? Question is same, what is your favorite color? So sometimes in part 3, if you don't understand the question, ask the examiner, will you please repeat your question? And sometimes even you can ask them to explain the question. It is possible that you say, will you please repeat the question? They repeat the same question or they change the question. If you say, will you please elaborate your question? They might elaborate or otherwise they change. There is no negative marking criteria. Speaking test is not your listening test. If you don't understand the question, you can ask them to repeat and they will repeat the question for you. But be confident. Don't try to answer a question without understanding. Then you will be in trouble. They ask you a question and you pick up one word and you say, yehi hoga. Right? Don't do it like that. Ask them to repeat the question. You're gonna pay 39,000. Abhi agle mahine inhone isko 42, 43,000 pe kar dena because of this dollar thing and all that. Right? So take full advantage of that. Yeah? Student कहता उन्होंने मुझे पेंसिल दी थी मैं वो घर ले आया ऐसे. पेंसिल नहीं मिलती वहाँ पे एग्जाम टेस्ट कहते मैं पेंसिल इरेजर शॉप में भी घर ले आया था 40,000 में से कुछ तो वसूल हुआ ना समथिंग लाइक दैट ओके सो डोंट वरी यू कैन जस्ट गो ऑन विद योर टेस्ट एंड बी कॉन्फिडेंट एंड यू आर गोइंग टू गेट योर डिजायर्ड बैड इंशाल्लाह